He grew up in North Philadelphia and attended Roman Catholic High School, where he averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He attended Temple University and was drafted by the Golden State Warriors in the 1997 NBA Draft. He later played for the Minnesota Timberwolves, his hometown team, the Philadelphia 76ers, the New Jersey Nets, and the New Orleans Hornets. Jackson played international basketball in Greece and Russia and has traveled all over the world. He now works as a 76ers basketball analysis for NBA Sports Philadelphia and runs a youth program that mentors boys aged 8 to 14 to the game of basketball. So, without further ado, let's give it up for Mark Jackson.
Can we give it up for Artavius? Can we give it up? Boy, I'll tell you something. Let me tell you. So, first of all, I got to give a big shout out to the principal, Courtney, and the CEO, Mrs. Whitmore. I'm messing up everything already. So let me tell you why I'm here. I have a mentorship for boys. I started this program the day I retired from the NBA, which is in 2010. My last team, repeat, my last team was the New Orleans Hornets. When I retired, I moved to Tampa, Florida. I have 3 young sons that are not young no more. They're all my age. They're all my size, rather, at 17, 16, and 13. And I've seen a need for me to serve. I seen a need, and I went with that need. And I'm here to serve, and I'm here to serve you students as y'all graduate from this wonderful, wonderful school. And listen, I didn't know nothing about this school, but I've learned a lot in the last month. And let me tell you something, can y'all give a big round of applause for all the staff and your parents and your guardians that's got you here. Please and thank you. Thank you for giving me a moment of your time, and I'm gonna say, please just give me a second more. I know it's hot in here, and let me tell you something. When you 6'10", that heat rain's a little hotter, okay? So whatever you feel, to multiply by 2, and that's me. But we're here for a good cause. Now, I can bore you with my story. My story is I was born in Temple Hospital. I was raised right down the street in Richard Island Projects at 11th and Drive. I can tell you about my story, where I grew up in a house with no heat and no running water. I can tell you about my story, but I was raised in a crack house. I can tell you the times where I would go days without eating, and when I ate something, it was only a honey bun or a tasty cake, because that was cheap to get. And the liquid I got was a quart of water. Y'all know nothing about that. We used to call them hugs back in the day. And let me tell you something. When you're eating horrible food, you get horrible weight gain. And when I was about 14 or 15, I was over 325 pounds as a 15-year-old. 325 pounds. You know why? Because I don't ever remember eating a vegetable when I was a kid. I don't ever remember eating a vegetable because I couldn't afford it. Healthy food was expensive. It still is today. Tasty cakes, no disrespect, but y'all kept me through my childhood. I ate you every day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Well, actually, it was cheap. I would find a quarter, get a quarter, go to the store and buy something to eat. And that's what it was, because that's what I could afford. So I can bore you with all that. I can bore you with me. But let me tell you what helped change me. Let me tell you what helped me get through life is the game of basketball. That was my resource. And let me tell you something. The word resource don't come by easy for people like us sometimes. The things that separate some kids from other kids is the amount of resources they had at their disposal. But as I read through this school and as I read through what they're giving you as students, I see the resource they're giving you starts with here and here. And let me challenge you and say this. A special word that rings really dear to my heart is growth. Growth. A lot of times you feel as though when you reach a certain milestone that you've made it. Oh, I made it, I'm good now. Oh, I made it, I'm all right, I don't need to do anything else. But let me tell you, that's where you're wrong. When you stop growing mentally, everything else stops. Everything. You start isolating yourself. You know why? You say, oh, I done did this by myself. Oh, I'm good. You reach certain level of success, whether it's a professional athlete like me, whether it's owning your own business, or whether it is you say, I reached this, oh, I'm good. Because sometimes you forget how you got there. And that's when growth kicks in. And I said, I know it's hot, but multiply by 2, and that's me, okay? So I'm gonna get you out of here. But I wanna make sure I tell you this. Growth is the magic word to success in this world, and success is measured differently by everyone. I measure success with how many double-doubles I got in the game. I measure success when I became a father Was I being the father figure that I would have been proud of when I was growing up? Because I didn't have a father. Like I said, no heat, no running water. But they told me my biological father lived on Miami Beach. He was a famous Motown singer, took his money and went to Miami Beach, and I only met him 3 times in my entire life. But I ain't getting none of that. So growth is when I learned to accept and I learned to forgive and I moved on my life. But when I said growth does not stop once. It does not stop when you, okay, I'm going to grow again. Okay, as I grow now, I said, all right, I'm good now. And then you start to isolate yourself again. You say, all right, I'm good. I'm in a good place now. But then it hits you again. It hits you again. So as I look at so many beautiful people here, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to challenge you to do this. It's so important that you remember it's not about you, it's about we. And if you can maximize your resources by partnering up with someone else that you might know or have been raised with in the school and as you move on. KIPP does an excellent job in the KIPP Forward program where they help you for 6 years after you graduate, whether education or the workforce, to help you get right mentally and help give you resources to help you continue to grow. But let me tell you something, no matter how great you are, no matter how successful you are, you did not get there alone. Sometimes you might say, well, I did this. I worked my tail off. Well, I did this by myself. I didn't have a mom or father. I didn't have guardians. I raised myself. Yeah, but believe it or not, it was somebody behind the shadows that helped you. It was somebody behind the shadows that gave you an extra push when you needed it. Like I said, I thought I was by myself. And then the game of basketball touched my life, and then I had coaches come into my place and say, you know what you can do through this game of basketball? I said, no, I don't. What can I do? I was a late bloomer. Nowadays, kids play basketball at the age of 4 and 5 years old. I was a late bloomer. 14, 15 is when I touched the basketball for the first time. And then when I realized, you mean to tell me this thing could get me out of my current situation? And my situation, once again, was no heat, no running water. I used to get my water from the fire hydrant at 5 o'clock in the morning before my neighbors could wake up and before my friends and kids my age can make fun of me. And I said, you mean to tell me this can get me to see the world? This can get me where I don't have to eat tasty cakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and honey buns? But now, I'm no hating, because honey buns is good, especially warm them up with some, let me tell you, some butter on it. Y'all can't know nothing about that. But them people back there know a lot about that. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you. Anyway, it's another story. But don't eat no honey buns. Or ration at least. So when I said this can give me a new situation, I've been to different places of this world that I didn't think I would ever see on a movie or read in a book. I've lived all over Europe. I've lived in Africa. I've lived in so many places. And some of it was after I retired because I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to engage in different cultures and learn about different cultures because, once again, I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow. When my children were born, I said, I made it. I'm a father. And then as my children started to grow, I said, how can I be a better father? And as my children were growing, I said, let me tell you this, I'm going to be that parent that you're going to be so embarrassed of because I'm always going to be there. I'm going to be that parent that when you see me, oh, here's my dad. Let me get out of here. Why? So I got a middle son named Sammy. I'm going to call him out. She knows him well. He hates when I go to his school. Now, mind you, he goes to the same school I went to, but he hates that I go to his school. He said, Dad, you bring too much attention to me. Come on, man, stop coming to my school. You're embarrassing. I said, having a father's embarrassing. He said, I don't mean it like that. I said, well, however you mean it, you don't really mean it. Because you think you reached a certain level of success you did on your own, but you forgot how you got there. And I'm going to remind you, I'm bringing that back to you. All of you are successful because you're wearing them gowns now. You're wearing those hats. You are successful to a certain extent, but it does not end there. Here's some hard truths that you have to understand. It's not over. It starts now. Mom, dad, guardian, and teachers cannot save you. You are responsible for you. The process starts with you taking the next step forward. And we have to put our egos aside and realize I didn't do this by myself, but I can grow more with somebody next to me and riding with me. Fear and laziness is two things that prevents people from building and growing. They fear the unknown, and they're afraid to take the next step forward because they don't know what's behind the door. But let me tell you, for you, that changes. Because everyone next to you is on a path to go somewhere great. That's on a path to reach a certain success that they see as successful. And successful is not judged by what I think. Respectfully, it's not judged by your parents think or what your teachers think. It's what you think. So let me tell you something. Yes, you may be sitting here as an individual, but you got here as a group. And you didn't get here alone. Them people behind you that's burning up just like you helped get you here. I repeat, them people behind you that you get tired of hearing them, they help get you here. These teachers on this stage, they help get you here. Whether you say, oh, they picking on me because they ain't giving me the grade I want. No, you just ain't work hard enough. They was pushing you. Just like them people behind you was pushing you. And you have to push yourself because now they can't save you. You have to be so loving of yourself that it overflows and you're able to give love to others. You're truly able to build on who you are now and grow daily. Love yourself to a point that it overflows and you can give it to whatever you want to venture into and to where the world is taking you. I am Mark Jackson. I did not get here alone. And you did not get here alone. Have a good day. Thank you. I just saw it.